that I can enrich myself. That is my basic attitude towards this particular session. And I again express my sincere gratitude to Professor Harinarayana for allowing me this opportunity. I would like to discuss two different sessions. So in two different sessions, first session I have already mentioned that some of the developments in AI, how it is going on, and how in near future probably we are going to be overshadowed by all these AI tools in all our library and information technology, whatever we are using. So better to equip ourselves as well as the present generation. The reason is most of the users, the present generation users, who are, we call that they are uh, born digital people only. So they are more convergent with all these tools what we are using today. And that's why my first topic, what I would like to share before you is say I'll share my screen first. Let me check what is there. Hope it is visible to you all.
No, sir, not yet. Yeah, now is, but still not, sir.
It's not visible yet.
No, yeah.
No, sir.
Yes, now it's now opening.
It has come, sir.
No, sir.
Yes,
Yeah.
sir. Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
Yes,
Maybe
sir.
due to some network problem, it will be a bit delayed, but anyhow, let's see.
It's not in presentation mode, sir.
Okay, sir.
Is it fine?
Yeah.
Is it fine?
Yeah, yeah.
Yes,
Now,
sir.
Now it is okay, sir.
Okay. So the first thing what I would tell you, that transforming libraries, learning, research, and academia in the age of Gen AI. That is what the caption said here. And we are trying to navigate the new information landscape. But I am pretty sure all of you will agree that library has already undergone this transformation, and present generation user, even though may not be through our library services, directly they are getting access to all AI generated information because they are much more time saving to them. Whatever, there are some factors, definitely we will go through what are the problems are there, but still we could agree to that extent that probably the present generation user, without much introspection into the how AI algorithm is working behind it, whether it is proprietary or maybe some open source also, they have used it, they have experienced it, and they found it much more helpful and time saving also. So in that way, they have been using. Now, if we come to our library as our traditional service, what exactly, why do we consider what we are doing to the society? All of you are either faculty members of library science or you are practicing librarians also. They will agree that we can just bring the users to provide information, or we may allow access to them. But can we ensure that that information is basically consumed by them, assimilated by them, and they made use of it for their progress? We cannot ensure that much, because that is not our area also. To what extent we could do, that is we are just trying to match the content, that is the document whatever we are having in any format, and then we know at least we are trying to understand the nature of the use and user also, and we are trying to bring the match in between these two. Then what exactly is happening to the generation AI inflection point? That is, generative AI represents a fundamental paradigm shift in higher education. Why we are telling it? I am not telling only NEP compliance, that where in a very predominantly we are using AI in different context, whether any subject it is, to what extent it is allowing us the opportunity, we are trying to employ our AI activities there. But one thing for sure, that students, even younger, I understand my daughter also, for their assignment also they are taking books from AI tools. And even without spending much time in concentrating over the problem, say for example, a particular mathematics assignment has been given, she could have probably tried for a few minutes, then only if any solution is available. But as the solution is at their fingertips, without bothering much, they suddenly get into it and solve the problem. Thing is that why they are not spending time? That is one of the problem in transformation process. And this transition from searching of information to synthesizing knowledge. See, just now I was telling that we are trying to provide access to the information, but we are not sure how that information is getting assimilated at their mind. Means their earlier knowledge, what was there in them. Because if we remember our N.J. Belkin's definition, that if it changes the image structure of the recipient, then only we could say that some information is consumed by the user. If it is possible to change the mindset of it, the what was there earlier and what is at present. But this synthesized information, when it is the proprietary software with their own algorithm, in what way they collect the information, they find the relationship between the noun and their pronouns, and then relate it and find the information about it. We are not pretty sure about it. But users are using, that much we could say. And libraries are the epicenter of this transformation. That's an opportunity rather. See, from the this corona period, libraries got a better opportunity in the sense, even we were allowing the Google Classroom or all these facilities to the users, and also we are facilitating our teachers also, faculty members also, because so that a particular session they could continue with the lesson plan, they could evaluate their feedback, and all these things we are almost not exactly in the behind the screen, rather actively we are participating in this engagement process. But now we really could say that library itself has become a self-learning center. Role of teachers or faculty members got reduced quite a good extent. I mean, whether to what extent it was desirable, I am not going to that issue at this moment. What I am trying to say that it was teacher-centered approach, and now it is learner-centered approach, and learners in whatever way they want to get access to the information. So our definitely effort was that everyone should become self-learners, because well-educated or well-versed knowledge people, definitely they should be aware about the self-learning process. And one who is not self-learners, he cannot consider himself as the very good learner or very knowledgeable person also. It's a saying that Acharya Padamadatte, Padam Sishya Samedhaya. The learners learn from the teachers only 1/4 of it, maximum to the extent. but I believe that it is less than 10% also. Just it's the breaking the jinx of it, just generating interest in a particular subject. That's all. But rest of the things is totally others only. Means even the uh, participants others. But in the Sanskrit hymn of Mahabharata, it is said that Acharyat Padamadatte Padam Sisya Samedaya Sa Brahmachari Bhupadam. Sa Brahmachari means at the present state, we won't say that those who are your co-learners in the classroom, or say for example this particular session where all the participants of a particular faculty development program, not there only, all over the world, all are co-learners. We could learn from anyone at any time. And that's why Sa Brahmachari Padam, Padam Skala Kramenaja, which may not be consumed at this moment, as Ranganathan's spiral of scientific method also says that time plays a vital role. Sometimes at this moment we may not be very much aware about a particular issue, but over the time, definitely I may be much more aware about it, and that is why time plays a vital role there. So libraries act as the vital bridge between algorithms and the academic rigor. Algorithms, what we are telling, is basically all the proprietary software, whether it is ChatGPT or whatever AI tools are there, their algorithms and the academic rigors in the sense exactly in where we are going to apply it. In next session, when we will discuss about the massive online open courseware, where libraries also has a very great role to play in collecting, organizing these things. And at this moment, our focus is to equipping academia for an AI augmented future, because that is the need of the hour. Unless in true sense of the term, they are using it, but they are not much aware about its fallacy, about some hallucination, what is made by the references and all these things. That behind the screen, how it is happening, because in library it's a total overt process. We are clearly aware that how our inverted files are generated, how the index is prepared, how our catalog is prepared. So we could help our users in searching process, and we can bring near the user as well as the document. But how they are connecting the relationship between different terms, different say semantic mapping rather, that is yet not that much deciphered. That's why we are telling that it is to some extent the algorithms we are trying to bridge it with our present academic rigor. How do we define this generative AI in academia? First of all, these large language models, where we are telling, say, for example, while introducing, Sir has told that in the last century itself, I mean, in the year 1998, when we were trying to collect the bibliographic data elements from the title pages of the documents, what we were doing, we had at the back end a database, and that database was only 1,20,000 records of OCLC. Okay, and we have collected it also with very great effort of my supervisor through our InflipNet. Those people helped us, and a book find database that is purely book database. Book find database by British Council Library, that is also around 55,000 records were there. And analyzing that, we had prepared our ISO file out of it. Those fields are mostly occurred in title pages or back of the title pages. We are trying to culminate it and find the nature, what are the conflicting elements in between the series title and the title of the documents. And all these things, that's why it was a heuristic based methods, and very difficult to develop the logic that which one, when the physiographic features like to what extent it is bold faced, the title usually appear in a bold face, the author usually appear at the bottom of the pages. These locations may change, may vary from document to document, and sometimes the English words and phrases what we are using, same kind of words may appear in title as well as in series title also. So it was quite difficult to distinguish the clarity, bringing the conflicting elements in right perspective. But you see, at the present level, when we are telling the large language models, behind the screen databases, to what extent it is freely available whenever you are using it, when we are using to employ some of the records with it, we are experimenting with it, everything automatically become their database. I mean, for their learning set, for the machine learning process, they are making use of that data sets. So it has really a large data set, and that's why all are maybe pre-trained, and sometimes it is also allowing a training to the user if we want. And it's a vast human knowledge corpora. That is the back-end database. Earlier, what we are telling the structured database, now it has become through the pre-trained LLMs, a vast human knowledge behind the screen. It's a large corpora. Then capabilities of natural language understanding, synthesis, coding, and logical reasoning. I remember it has advanced a lot. Earlier, even the typeface things which are printed document also, there also character recognition was not that easy. OCR was at the primary level few years back only. 2010-12, during that OmniPage Pro, they were using in National Library, Calcutta, to identify the elements from their catalog itself. And there itself, it is found that quite somewhere it was hazy. I mean, the yellow color mark they are getting. But now you see, even your handwritten documents, that can be perceived easily, and they can understand your particular pattern of writing and convert it to the, concrete ASCII files that can be generated out of it. So not just a search engine, it's a cognitive co-pilot, not simply a search engine, we could say, to the present AI generated generative AI. Rather, it's a cognitive co-pilot. It is inducing you to understand in what perspective you are thinking. Sometimes prompting. That's why prompt generation, prompt engineering also has come into picture, that how we should provide that prompt to find out the right information. So it's a paradigm shift from the retrieval to generation and augmentation. So earlier, retrieval was also took quite some time. Earlier, exactly we used to tell everything, then only librarians used to understand, and later the generation has changed, especially after Peter Salton and all these people, they have developed the mechanism for keyword identification and all these techniques. It was much more easier. But the present generation is not only they are generating information, they are collecting, relating, and generating new information. And that's why it's an augmented environment, augmented reality rather. With the help of virtual reality, in future, probably we are going to get much more from it. And it presents an unprecedented opportunities and significant ethical risk. Ethical risk in the sense, to what extent it is original, to what extent it is copyright violation is there, or whether it is digital rights is preserved or not, whether all these things are really providing the references are correct or not. There are some issues, definitely ethical issues are there, but still we could say that the development is spectacular. At this moment, may I say, am I understandable to you to some extent? If not, kindly provide me some feedback so that I could try my level best. Is it understandable in what way I am talking, sir? Madam?
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
Yes, sir.
Should I
Yes,
proceed
sir.
same way?
Yes,
sir. Yes, sir.
Okay, thank you, madam. So it's an opportunity, and as well as some significant risks are there. Here is some statistical regard that global AI adoption statistics at this particular moment. 86% students adopted AI in high undergraduate use. and faculty AI usage is 70%. But recently I heard that in India, it's maximum 50% they are telling. Growing 50 means 56% probably, that much they are telling. Faculty AI usage, growing academic integration is 70%. Then universities who have some AI policy. AI policy we have to adopt, especially for our what I say, similarity detection purpose, plagiarism and all these things. I am reluctant to use the term plagiarism, at least similarity detection purpose. For that we must have some policy and developing ethical frameworks also in some of the universities in India, and 80% faster literature reviews. That is where exactly I would share with you to what extent it is really advisable or not. Say, for example, hundreds of articles they are downloading from our Web of Science or Scopus database, as well as, say, for example, our library science researchers. They are rarely now using the LISA or LISTA database, what specifically meant for library science literature. But they are directly going to Web of Science as well as Scopus, sometimes our Emerald Insight and all these, mostly where the LIS covered. And then through AI tools itself, they are scanning it, they are making the trend report of it, they are finding gaps also, and they are reducing the number also, and then they are presenting with the help of chart, the trend study, etc. But what is missing, even a few articles, what could have changed their insight? Sometimes I feel they are skipping it. They are not going through it on their own. What could have given the students a new insight into their research? They are missing that particular regard in it. Then 61% weekly AI active use. That is of course true. Casually, some people, though not frequently, they are using it. So that's a regular engaging interaction. And the urgency of AI literacy, why it is urgent, all these things, not only to make it faster use of the available literature, not only to scan the literature, because abundance is more at present, not we are suffering from the scarcity of resources. So from that abundant resources, what is more useful to us, to some extent, of course, we could rely on our AI tools. So AI literacy is now a fundamental academic competency. Like information literacy, we could say AI literacy is basically a part of our information literacy. Then students are adopting tools faster than institutional policies can adapt, because this age gap, rather, because we are not, we are a bit slow in adopting the new technologies, those who are at the advanced stage, at the advanced age, rather. And faculty requires support to redesign assessments and pedagogy. The reason is, earlier, most of the things we were manually checking it. We used to ask them handwritten all these things. But whether time has come up so that we could change it, and online assignments with the help of the AI tools, they can send it. Only thing, with the help of some other tools, we could say that, see, this much is permissible, but rest of the things what you have done, you have not put your mind there. That's why librarians are in a better position. They are uniquely positioned to lead AI literacy initiatives in any country and focus on critical evaluation. Why I am telling that our librarians are in a better position, I will come to that point. On critical evaluation, algorithmic biasness. Say, for example, most of us, we complain that all our, say, Western texts are available. The pedagogy, what they have developed for machine learning also, that is mostly westernized in nature, and our content are very less. We have to provide our insight in what way we are thinking, our examples, our environment, our culture, that is less represented in the available text. So that way, algorithmic bias and ethical applications, we need to follow it up, and our librarians, most of our librarians are equipped enough to take up this challenge. Evolution of the academic library from 1900s to 1980s, the physical repositories were there most of the times. We used to, even in our student days, we used to come to the library, to the stack directly. Some university libraries, especially, it was open access library. So we used to stand there till the end of the day. I mean, they used to tell us that please leave the room now, time is up, and all these things. But still, we used to play some mischief also. Means I must commit before you that how to hide a document so that tomorrow when I will come, I will pick it up fast. Others won't notice it. That is also this mischievous things also students used to play at that time. So the stage 2 was digital library, when digital OPAC has developed. With the help of Web OPAC, we used to search the documents. OPAC was there, then Web OPAC a bit later stage, then digital repository building, then all these things have come slowly, and the access to the periodical literatures were much easier than earlier, because all the bound volumes or a few only current volumes were available at the journal stacks. Some of the librarians, sometimes they used to get the content pages of the periodicals, and they used to make a bunch and they used to hang it in front of this journal stack. Some librarians have started by that time scanning the content pages and sending it to the required users, say for example to the physics researchers, the content of the physics journals and also. So that stage, connected knowledge hub, become in 2010s, the stage 3.1, because networking environment has developed by that time. Even in our country also, we have got the advantage with the help of InfluxNet. Quite a good amount of study materials we used to get access there, as well as some of the study materials have developed by all the universities as well as research centers, and ebooks are also available free of, I mean, open access. Then 20s to 30s, especially last few years, 2-3 years, AI augmented intelligence center, that was the stage. So if we look at the physical repository, it was focused on vast physical collection, car catalogs were used, and of course indexing for periodicals. Librarians mediated access, because librarian used to prepare car catalog as well as the content pages index and so on. Then, or say for example, even inverted file with the help of some software, whether it is say ISIS or those tools were there, that is also nothing but you used to tell that on title, on subject, on author area, you are preparing the inverted files. Next generation, stage 2, introduction of internet and computers, the shift to digital catalogs, OPEX. And in digital catalogs, of course, some of the things we are missing at that time. Even some of our, I mean, advanced learners also, they used to tell that we were accustomed with that environment. Now this environment are, I mean, allowing access less compared to that. Sometimes speed of the, I mean, your bandwidth was also matter at that time. And then connected knowledge hub with the help of our Wi-Fi, ebooks, diverse digital resources like digital repository and so on, and institutional repositories. Whatever content you have developed, some of the research institutes, whatever their research reports have been available earlier, at least for the preparation of the further research proposal, they can make use of it, and their learners also, they can get help with the help of those reports. So in-house documents are also much more, have become much more useful at this third stage. And the fourth stage, AI augmented intelligence center, where machine learning tools like intelligent, integrated and large language models have come into the pictures. That is what we had discussed a few minutes back. So this is same thing, introduction of OPEX in 90s, electronic journals, digital information age, connected knowledge hub that given rise to the institutional repositories, because earlier it was not that much meaningful. Institutional repositories like say for example Mysore University faculty members, their publications. So it has really much more used to others when they used to download these with the help of DOI. Directly they can get access to it, and they are discoverable much better than earlier. And collaborative learning commons and makerspace allowing to collectively work to create something in the library arena, and users experience a seamless digital access. If considering that remote places, of course, there is difficulty now on also, but to some extent, we can say that digital infrastructure in India at present has reached quite a decent extent, and foundational data curation and practices also get this curation of data. As I told you that earlier, it was really a hectic, rigorous process. Now, CSV file generation with the help of open refine or these kinds of tools. It's even for conversion of your database from one particular module to an other, to a particular other module. Say Koha database. Till I find most of the libraries finding it difficult, especially this transaction data, to convert it from one version to another version. That is really a hectic process. Now, this curation now has become much more easier in the present generation. This is AI augmented, LLMs, intelligent information environment, and machine readable collections, machine readability. So information earlier was only human consumable, human could process it, and now it is machine could process. Machine understands, machine process. That exactly is the change, and where I am telling that we could make it faster, because human intervention, what we thought the human prerogative, the intelligence of human being in this intellectual process was pivotal. But now, quite a large extent, machine has come forward to take up the role of the intelligent human being. Quite a large extent. I am not telling the creation of it, generation of it, rather, especially when it is required, the same kind of work much faster, that particular area, they are doing it very well. So access is, of course, democratized, and quality, provenance, and authority can be ensured at this moment. Say, for example, now if it is DOI, can be checked, verified, authenticity of the information. You can now judge much more faster than earlier that it's a fake information, because of the availability of all these tools. Even though so many options are there, but still there is some opportunity, and we are advocating for intellectual freedom at this moment. AI is a powerful new tool to execute this timeless mission. So user privacy in library, it's a very touchy area, in the sense to what extent, to which users are accessing what kind of information. Even if we were aware, but ethically we are not supposed to expose it to others for different reason. It was our library ethics. But you see, at this moment, we are not responsible. If some other agents, the AI tools, they come to understand that what is happening, say, for example, once the banking sector, they have opened their database to others, all of you are getting phone calls from several agencies. They know very well your present financial status and all these things. So we are just standing open in the market. Everything is exposed to others. Same way is happening in the AI era. all this taxonomy of AI tools in higher education, especially those tools which are applicable in higher education. AI tools in higher education can be categorized in this 5 fundamental way. One is generative purpose large language models like ChatGPT, Gemini, Claude, Copilot, and Perplexity. That is for general purpose LLMs for all kinds of use. Even our kids are also using all these things. Then for research discovery purpose, semantic scholar, we were using Google Scholar. From there it has come to semantic scholar. Just plain Google search engine or Google Chrome, or it is Netscape Navigator, whatever we are using at that time. We search engines and our Google Scholar, they were providing field level search or authorized searching and all these things. But now you see, they can make the semantic relationship. Even though we were trying to build the semantic net, we were not quite successful at this end. But these AI tools somehow managed. I won't say that all these information, whatever available, they have built the relationship among them, but to a large extent. If it is at all exposed to them, they could build it. Then consensus, elicit, research rabbit. This is what frequently used by students nowadays to collect information, to make the scan those documents and find what are relevant for them and all these things. For writing and productivity purpose, Grammarly, Turnitin, Notebook LM, Jotero AI. For reference management, Jotero. Jotero was there, but Jotero AI at this moment. Then for adapting learning purpose, this is what Khanmigo, some of the tools. When this Khanmigo, etc., I would cover later in our MOOCs course, where there I will try it. Squirrel AI, Gradescope, and for data analytics purpose or analysis purpose, SPSS AI. Then R has immense potential. Then GitHub is there. They are allowing us these opportunities. Same thing I have mentioned here. These are the tools you can, whenever you will find this particular presentation slides, you can get access directly. Just all the addresses are given there, so that you could directly try how Anthropic Claude or Google Notebook LM, all these things, or Perplexity AI, how they are working. You can experiment over that. That's why this particular slide is prepared. Kindly try it at your convenient time if anyone has not experienced. I believe most of you have already tried all of these things, but still considering that as I am an elderly person, as you see, I thought that better to provide all these things with you. Then academic AI tools ecosystem. This we have to understand as librarian how these are related. This ecosystem, I mean learning ecosystem, our knowledge ecosystem, and this AI tools landscape for this academic research especially. For writing and ideation, ChatGPT are people are using. Though we say that they are not concentrating much, they are not breaking their heads rather to find out the ways, or they are not hypothesizing the things also that what could be the plausible solution of a particular problem. Rather, they simply put it in ChatGPT and finding these are the solutions. So getting solutions much faster than the problem itself, or what could be the plausible explanation of a particular axiom, that we are not concentrating, especially the present genre of learner. They are really very, what I say, impatient rather. They don't want to waste their time. They don't think that it is invest their time. Rather, they are thinking that these few minutes unnecessarily we are wasting. Rather, what are the solutions available? We should see past. Some better solutions could have come to their mind also. Very fundamental questions could have been asked for them. but that they are not employing. So AI tools landscape for this academic research, what is happening, whether it is large context analysis purpose, they are using Gemini, research writing purpose, Claudes, evidence-based tracing purpose, consensus, elicit for systematic previews, research rabbit for citation mapping, for paper discovery, semantic scholars. Paper discovery, even though they are not getting it for our Web of Science or Scopus databases, they are going to the different semantic scholar search and getting it. Specialized research AI tools are also in action, like Consensus, Elicit, Site.ai, Jotero.ai helping us along with our retrieval augmented generation, RAG integration for question answer. They are learning from us and again providing us the feedback. Sometimes it is, of course, very foolish way of answering those things. So forget about that idiotic matter. Most of the cases, what I would suggest that we must explore them and suggest their loopholes to our users so that they could make themselves aware before using them. That is why conducting some of the awareness program of these research AI tools in library is essential, and making all the people, even research scholars as well as their supervisors also, so that they will also be aware to understand that how frequently they are getting deceived by the scholars as well as students. I am sorry, so many teachers, of course, are here, but still I am telling it. Most of the times we are blissfully unaware that what is prepared for your dissertation purpose and all these things. Some of them, they just simply change it with the help of Grammarly, some tinkering over the things and appearing it as if it has been prepared by them. Here are some tricks which in semantic scholar, how we could make these things, prompt engineering rather, prompting the right way to get a particular article by a particular author or in a particular context, whatever is written. See the search procedure here, along with the publication year, along with the language and so on. Even sources also, we could mention that from which source they should collect it. And this mapping, rather network mapping, it's a very helpful way. From these bubbles, we could understand where the concentration is more and where we must put some effort for scaling the lodge for neutral language models. Sometimes people say that ensembling it rather, so that a single method may be biased to some extent. Now, if we use several methods, allow several methods to operate simultaneously, then we could say that errors encrypted by a particular mode can be eliminated by others. Like say for example, so many people are playing violin at the same place. A particular person, if he is not playing or she is not playing properly, it can be encumbered with the others right way of doing it. That ensembling technique, we can make use of it and we could synthesize it. So for discovering, for verifying evidence, for extracting data, all the names are given here, whether it is Semantic Scholar, whether it is Site.ai, whether it is SciSpace, whether it is ChatGPT, Claude, etc. So what we are telling that for what purpose, how they can make use of it, this AI writing and feedback tools, their interface examples are given here, like for writing purpose, Grammarly is used, Turnitin is used to check the similarity of it, and then finding out where exactly they are similar, to what extent. Then PaperPal is there to find out which one is the new document, and AI writing identified that this text is mostly AI written with some human input. Just look at this particular interface example for AI writing feedback tools, where Grammarly is used first, and you have given a portion of the text. Say, for example, you have taken that particular article from your Emerald journal, and then you copy that particular portion and put it with the help of Turnitin. You found the similarity score is 12% only. That matches the identified 8 sources, and all these sources also they mentioned here that these are the sources. Now nextly, what is AI writing detected that 34% total AI probability, 34%. Earlier they told similarity is only 12%, but you see they are now much smarter to tell that though they have taken it, but they have tortured the text. They simply changed it with some other words. Then again, maybe with the help of RAG, they charged it and changed the text with the help of it, and then they put it back to you. So after changing 2-3 times, that got changed, but still it's a AI process that is identified that total AI probability is 34%. It's not human mind, rather some machine intelligence, and that is infused by, not unmediated by intellectual human being. That is identified. Now, these new documents, the scholar, you could see that where it is told that AI writing identified, this text is mostly AI written with some human input. This is paper pulp. They have identified 73%, and AI written, strong AI written writing patterns are 92%. 4920 words are there which are similar to that. Actually, this using of words, even they learn it from ourselves, as we have seen. Say, for example, in what way you draft your email, the pattern is copied by them. And while writing, they prompt you that next line is yours sincerely or yours faithfully. In what way you write, or whatever your preference of writing, the pattern they take it up and just they reproduce it. But still, see, PaperPal and all these kinds of algorithm, they could identify that this is not human generated one. General purpose LLMs versus specialized tools. General purpose, as I told you, can be used for any purpose, like ChatGPT, Claude. They are versatile, but they are prone to hallucination. As most of the times we find that they come back with the answer as a very smart answer, as if that is appears to be true. But if you track it, you find that the source, whatever is given, that source doesn't exist at all. Sometimes references they are telling with DOI, etc., appears like DOI, but there is not correct DOI of that particular article. Specialized tools like Elicit, Consensus, they use retrieval augmented generation. That means after retrieving the data, users feedback they are taking it, and against that again they are getting the response from the corpora of the text. So RAG anchors AI responses to verified scientific corpora. So scientific corpora, to some extent it is easier. Finding the relationship. But in social science and humanities, it's really sometimes becomes really horrible. So librarians must guide users towards the right tool for this specific task. That is what was my intention to say here. That right tools, that which could be used appropriate for what purpose? What is used appropriate for research article review purpose, that cannot be a general purpose software. Understanding underlying data sets is crucial for academic validity. That is what basically your research rigor is essential. Your research methodology will teach you that what is really the corpora of information you need to explore. See, most of the times we forget that while designing our research problem, at the same time some research question will arise, and following those research questions only we prepare our objectives. Then humanly we must think what could be the plausible solution for that, in which direction we should move from this darkness to reach the light. Then only we could guess that what could be our data to explore it. I'll give you an example. For a long time, even Darwin tried to find out some of the what is going on behind, what is the origin of the species and all these problems. But as there was no focus in his study, which particular sample he should take, where he should study, in what way he should approach the problem. For a long time, he also wondered with it. Any research process, because that was the time of that period. He got the idea, I learned it from some text, that it seems that Malthus theory, where it is said that what is survival of the fittest, that particular idea he got it from Malthusian, and that become his hypothesis. And then only he could find the right corpora to explore. I mean, the sample and which kind of experiment can be conducted and so on. So that is what the appropriate thing, that to what extent we must rely on our research procedure, and to what extent to which data we must download to study it, or say which literature will help us for this particular finding the gap of this research. Understanding underlying data sets is crucial for academic validity. Simply from somewhere a corpora, a large amount of text with all kinds of statistical analysis, and with the help of some tools you are preparing your diagrams, etc., does not necessarily build a research. So AI may be used but judiciously, and for research discovery, tools like Semantic Scholar, Research Rabbit, Visualize Citation Networks, and Consensus and Cite.ai evaluate scientific agreement and citation context, rapid scoping of literature previously impossible at this large scale, and transform systematic reviews and meta-analysis workflows. And the risk lies here is over-reliance may lead to filter bubbles. Means some of the very pertinent texts you may be dropped simply because they are lacking a particular field, or you find that it is not amenable to what I say curate with the help of your available tools. So either it is OpenRefine or whatever, as it is not capable to curate it, you simply throw that data. That is the wrong thing. You have to find out, that is, keep it aside, and then that is, as it is an important article, it must change your insight into this particular problem. That's why we say that simply methodology, it's not format that makes the research. It is content that makes the research. AI for writing and productivity. From basic grammar checking to structural synthesis, Grammarly is used. Notebook LLM, some other things are also used. Not only Grammarly, I am telling. Notebook LM, it enables querying personal research repositories, where earlier it was a very gray area, personal research repository, unless it is open research, nobody will provide you. Jotero is helping us for drafting with dynamic referencing, and raises complex questions regarding the authorship and intellectual contribution. Then requires intellectual contribution, means how far you could rely on a particular author, to what extent he has contributed, because so many authors are there, you may find that later that article got retracted. So requires new pedagogical approaches to academic writing, as so many people are writing, and very huge amount of research data is there at present. We have to be choosy enough. We have to be skeptic at the beginning how to scan it. Evaluating AI tools, the librarian's framework is given here. First of all, we must check the provenance. What data was the model trained on? Means for LLM model, whatever they have used, they must expose that what data was there, what is the corpora of that data. Then privacy. Does the tool ingest user queries for future training? I mean, you have taken without their proper permission, and in future you are making use to train your machine their queries, their answers, then you are violating the privacy. Transparency. So we must make our users aware that where exactly we should take care. Then transparency, is the underlying algorithm open or proprietary? Mostly we do not bother, but that is what the problem. The reason is algorithm is not exposed when it is proprietary, but when it is open source, at least we could say that yes, anytime we can get access to it. If there is any wrong also, it can be exposed to someone else, if not mine. So biasness with representational harms, as I told you, country-wise biasness, time biasness, political biasness, and so on, might the tool perpetuate. And librarians develop rubrics to assess tools suitably for academic use. So that rubrics to be used there by them. This research life cycle, again, I am going back that earlier I told that ecosystem, here also same thing, for topic scoping purpose, literature discovery purpose, data collection and analysis purpose, stage 3, then writing and drafting purpose, then finally dissemination and publication purpose. Topic scoping and ideation, they are the overcoming blank pages, refining research questions, hypothesis. This is the ideation stage. Here, LLMs as brainstorming partners to identify research gaps. Humanly, what is possible? Intellectually, you employ yourself and you augment it with the help of the AI tools. So here, this refining research questions and for refining your hypothesis, whether hypotheses are testable or not, whether hypotheses are what I say solvable at the end or not, whether you can prove or disprove it or not. Neither you can be proved, it can be proved, nor it can be disproved. Then it cannot be hypothesis at all. So this kind of thing, librarian's role is to teach effective prompt engineering for ideation. There lies the importance. Like we learned our, say for example, SQL, their query formulation purpose, how to make use of this SQL query. Now it is prompt engineering. We have to provide the prompts to the learners so that they can make use of those prompts to find out the right answers from the system, and ensuring researchers maintain intellectual ownership of ideas. It's not the ownership of the tools, rather idea who has generated the idea originally, the person should be the should have the authority of it. Sometimes people say that copyright by some AI tools. All these things, I don't think it makes much sense. Literature discovery and synthesis, that is the second stage, using AI to rapidly extract pico elements from hundreds of papers. Then generating synthesized summaries of conflicting studies. Here, as you know, that at present for literature review purpose, students, they use Prisma method. That methodology, if you apply, they are also the same thing, the scanning, reducing the corpora of the text, all the stages, we must go through it properly, and librarians may guide in this direction. Identifying seminal works, what is there? Some age-old work may be there, which are seminal work. Missing that, without going through that, users are going to research. That was a seminal work, and everyone must learn that one, understand that one, then only they will develop their insight. But forgetting that also, maybe at the learner stage, simply a note he has read it, neither that book or those articles, that cannot be considered. Librarians must direct them that have you gone through those seminal works there, whether it is textbook or it is reference book or it is research articles. Advising on RAG tools versus general LLMs. RAG tools, what is the advantage, and general LLMs, their advantage, as well as their disadvantages. This teaching critical appraisal of AI-generated summaries. That means AI-generated summaries, they might have skipped so many things. Now again, your turn, I mean researcher's turn, is to go back what was very significant article, but still it was missing from the text, that we have to check it properly. So first of all, this data collection and analysis stage, when we are telling, I mean, literature review is a different aspect, and data collection, because as I told you, data collection also largely depends on your hypothesis. In our social science, some people say that we don't bother about hypothesis, simply we could go through. You see, back of your mind, definitely there is some hypothesis. Only thing, you might not have put or explicitly mentioned that one. But unless you have some hypothesis, how could you proceed? There could be several ways of advancing your research, several ways of solution also. But exactly what could be your hypothesis, you must take that route, and that will direct you to your sample. Where should you take the sample, and how should you sample it, and all these things. Your methodology largely depends on that also, and your data also largely depends on that. So code generation for that purpose, I mean for analysis and all this purpose, for complex statistical analysis. Then automated qualitative coding for interview transcripts, data cleaning and wrangling accelerated by AI assistants. So many data clearing tools are there at present. With a small tricks also, you could means wherever some here I am telling you, problem is that, as I told you, that 64,000 downloaded from say Web of Science, but ultimately it found that only 3,400, because it doesn't match. Somewhere it is, some fields are missing, some particular field has not given their data, and they will say that it is not I mean machine amenable. So amenability of machine, definitely it matters, but for your research, the corpora of text is matter. The data where you are trying to introspect, that you have to look manually. And here, supporting research data management, librarians as a rule, RDM is a large area at present. I mean, how to create data, how to analyze it, and how to provide it for the further research. There is some systematic research data management system, and librarians has a great role there. Though India is lagging, they have not developed yet any methodology or any policy rather throughout the nation that public funded research, the data must be made available to the further researchers, ensuring data privacy when using cloud-based AI tools. Now, recently, some of our students, I mean, one of my scholars, he has put that for 1 year, his research data, he made it that it cannot be exposed. But the text, you could see that title is available. Even he has uploaded it in our say Sodh-Ganga database, but still that particular 1 year some sort of what I say barrier to download the data. The reason is, during that period he may be trying for publication in some other country. So that's why these kinds of facilities are there at present, and we can explore it. Writing, drafting, and formatting. There are also several AI tools are there for structuring manuscripts and generating abstracts. That's why you see earlier, at least we used to find some text with grammatical mistakes, spelling errors, and all these things. Now very smooth because of translation also. Even in one language you can write it and translate it, very polished language they are doing it. And non-native English speakers also, especially when you are sending articles for some Taylor and Francis or other articles, you have to be non-native speakers. That is what the problem, because our way of not only speaking or a pronunciation, rather our English writing is also not very standardized. That way, I mean, quite a good many of us, and not all of us, I am telling, quite a good many of us belongs to that category, and automated formatting to specific journal styles. That is where you are, say, Taylor and Francis, they are following this particular pattern. Then librarian's role that what are the standards for references, whether it is APA, whether it is MLA, then it has version. What is the difference? Why this particular matters? These small petty things we have to make people understand. To our users, we must continuous awareness program, especially for researchers. We have to conduct within maybe quarterly. We can conduct this program so that the latest developments and also those who are newcomers to the research, everyone must attend them. So promoting transparency and appropriate attribution methods to the right author, who is the creator of that particular content, he should be given proper recognition. Attribution methods should be proper. That is what exactly what we are telling. Plagiarism is just trying to steal other works, make it appear as if it's your own work. That is the only area we must be cautious about. Whatever you take, you must recognize it, and then you say that where exactly you think that your idea is this much, and you have added it, you have added some value with it. So dissemination and impact, that is the final stage. Generating lay summaries for public engagement, optimizing metadata and keywords discoverability. That which keywords are, that is again librarian's domain. How to make it searchable, much more discoverable, tracking research impact through AI enhanced bibliometrics. All our researchers or our supervisors also, we can prepare their citation, how many articles have been read by some people or which have been used more. All these things we can make them aware so that they can be more conscious about their own write-up. And the future researchers also should be aware that where publication and how to publish it, that matters for future discoverability. Advising on open access and algorithm visibility. This open access, championship, so we should be the harbinger, because the ultimate work would become the open access. There is no other way. Nanya pantha vidyate ayana. Unless we allow others to look into our issues, unless we allow others to read or interact with us, probably no further research can be possible. So redefining research productivity, that is what in AI generation, earlier research productivity and present research productivity, AI dramatically accelerates the mechanical aspects of research. Speed, as I have told you, for literature review purpose, for analysis purpose, or for publication using reference tools, etc. Higher order synthesis and methodology. Potential to democratize research and for under-resourced institutions. Some of the institutions at present, ONOS, they are providing access, probably seamlessly all over the nation. But of course, earlier, what was happening, some of the poor institutes, they are not getting access to the information. They used to travel a lot just to get access to the right articles. So speed must not compromise academic rigor and validation. And that is what we have to be careful. Librarians must make them aware. Yes, you are ready with your literature review within 1 year of your research, but you see where you are missing that. Say for example, just one state of the art report preparation. One girl who was preparing these firearms in our country. What was the development, at what stage, what was there? Just day before yesterday, this year, as that student is pursuing her dissertation here itself, I know that day before yesterday, a particular kind of, one firearm India has tested, that is AK-203, which is named after SHER, SHER. So unless we go through the documentation of it, probably your research is over, but time to time, till the publication of your research, the literature review process must go on. And librarians must act as the vital quality control checkpoint to remind the researchers about all these things. This is again from the management point of view, library services ecosystem, AI enhanced discovery, AI enhanced library users, and it develops and search discovery, automated cataloging and metadata. There also some people now are telling that, say for example, for keyword identification, that what should be the subject descriptor for a particular article. So many open databases are available. We just link it with our Koha database, so that while providing, when you are trying to input your records, that time itself you drag it and get it. That 90% of the users all over the world, 90% of the library professional prefer for this particular title, this particular keywords. You see, that way cataloging and metadata process also has been becoming much easier. But of course, judgment, human judgment, or what we say cataloger's judgment, that is essential, because you know your library, you know your user. Concentrating on the requirement of your library, you have to choose the particular keyword or subject descriptor that it can be discoverable. Maybe that particular document, that domain is missing in your library. Some users are not there. But for other users, how to provide access, that particular term would suggest. That's why here is the role of your own judgment, librarians or catalogers' judgment. Intelligent reference services, like, as I told, prompt engineering, how to provide the 24 hours library services. I know Delnet, they have embedded in there. If you just go through the Delnet catalog also, their website itself, they have employed 24/7 services for the AI generated librarians reference service. Then research data management, just we have mentioned here, for data curing, for data scanning, as well as presenting it. This is for search, breaking down language barriers, because language earlier machine translation were not possible. Now with the help of AI, German text, how much total publication, they used to say that 25% maximum is in Anglo-Saxon languages, but rest of the things, so many other languages are there, and scripts it is available, Chinese or others, so many articles are there. But now machine translation is quite decent one, and we can make use of it, especially in science, technology. They are making use of them, and natural language queries, accessing the library catalog easily, even with your talk also, verbal in a instead of keying in the data directly, you can talk to the computer. Multilingual discovery, breaking down language barriers and creating a more intuitive Google-like library experience. Seamless. Here Google indicates the seamless experience. Automated catalog.
Sir, this is tea break time.
Thank you, madam. Okay, so we remain here. I am pretty sure I made you much bored by this time. So have tea and come back with a fresh mind to get it bored again. Next of the session. But I believe if you kindly interact with the session, probably it won't be that much boring. You only can change the course of action. Thank you. We'll come back after 15 minutes again.
Sir, thank you. Sir, joining 3:45, sir. Again, join 3:45, sir.
Okay, madam. Okay.
Participants joining 3:40. We'll join 3:45, sir. Thank you.
Okay, madam.
Thank you, madam. 3:45.